good. I am also. Okay, I'll just tell you where we were, and I'll tell you the headline, and I let you express yourselves. Axel, you understand Hebrew, right?
You're sure you will allow us to?
Yes, I understand better than I can speak.
Okay, so Udi and Chezi, you can speak Hebrew until at least, and I think Dagmar also understands some Hebrew.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe everyone should speak the way he's more comfortable.
I have no problem with English.
מה שאתה רוצה. מה שאתה רוצה. עכשיו, now, Udi made a beautiful movie on Bereshit. Udi, it's available in the internet?
The what?
The movie.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, beautiful, modernized Genesis.
Great.
Okay. Now, the thing is, what we spoke is we tried to take ourselves back to the period when we were looking for a wife, or we thought of getting married, and the whole problem involved. But maybe we are not, the right age or the right perspective. It's really not us. So I decided to move to something that's more us. And I think it's the point where you bring faith and promise together with manipulation. How do we take faith? And some people can say that faith and promise means that you can sit quietly and everything is predestined, everything is okay, you sit quietly, you do everything that is honest, you do everything that is good, and then eventually everything will come out all right. Or it's not so. You have to work very hard, you have to manipulate, you have to cheat, you have to kick, you have to stab people in the backs, and in order to achieve what you think is right. So I don't want to have any position. I don't want to say what I think about it. But I think we should read the famous chapter in the Bible that you all know it. And Udi headed it a conspiracy. You can call it whatever you want. Udi deals with, movies and shows. It's dramatic. So it's here the conspiracy. But the question is, how do you see it? And this I think is very important because we have moral values, we have things that we think we are correct and not correct. Now we see something that seems to us not correct, incorrect, how do we handle it? We say that we should adopt the behavior, we should explain the behavior away, but I think if we read something, it should be relevant. So I will, if Udi will try to share the screen.
Where do you want to start? With the conspiracy?
I'm starting with the conspiracy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that this looks very dramatic.
And you can, by the way, it could be a very interesting thing to get the alternative titles. So it could be part of the discussion. Somebody else is sharing the screen. I'm seeing somebody share the screen.
רק אני.
So I think it's better if I do it because I know how to play with it.
What? מה אתה אומר?
I think it's better if I do it because you're doing it for some reason in a small font.
לא שומע? תגיד לי בעברית.
תעביר לי את השיתוף.
אתה רוצה להציג את זה בסדר?
כן, כי אני יותר שולט המסך שלך משום מה יוצא תמיד קטן.
כי הוא ארוך. אוקיי, בסדר, אין בעיה. Stop share, do it 1 second. אני צריך לקחת אתכם מפה. Stop share, manage participants. אודי ליאון מור. No share, forbid record, make stop video. לא, אתה יכול לעשות share, אין בעיה. תעשה share screen.
Can you see the screen now?
No.
It's a little bigger.
Much better.
Okay, בסדר. Okay, Axel, we'll give you the podium.
Yes. What I reread it this morning, and well, I read the story many times, but usually I focused on the role of Jacob. But actually, what I rediscovered this time was the role of Rivka,
Right.
who took the initiative. And I was looking for the reason. And if you see this story isolated from the context, you can't find any reason why she wants Jacob to get the blessing of Isaac. And so I went back to chapter, what is it, 25 or something, and there is just mentioned that Isaac loved Esau, and
she loved Jacob. Yes.
She loved Jacob, exactly. So the love obviously breaks rules or breaks tradition or whatever. Love is maybe a greater force than tradition or moral values or whatever. I don't know.
I'm not sure. You went back, but you went back only a little bit. If you go back even more,
yes, of course.
The reason, it looks like the reason is the prophecies that she had about the two sons.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's just love. I mean, it's interesting. Is it, why do we have to say love if she had the prophecy? But it looks like the reason she was focusing on Yaakov is because what she heard when the two twins were in her womb.
Yeah.
דרך אגב, זה יכול להיות שהנבואה הקודמת הזאת היא מסבירה למה גם יעקב וגם יצחק וגם רבקה החליטו לבחור צד. אומנם הם בחרו כל אחד צד אחר, אבל ברגע ששני גויים מבטנך ושני גויים ממך ייפרדו, אז כל אחד הבין שיהיה ממשיך אחד מתוך השניים האלה. מעניין הוא שהם בחרו כל אחד בחירה אחרת.
נכון, אבל אני לא רוצה להיכנס לזה, זה דיון שיכול להתפשט לאינסוף. I want to concentrate in the point that you pointed. The question is, why did she want Yaakov to get a blessing? Because she loved him. The question is everyone kosher when you do that, when you love someone? You love, okay, so imagine the assumptions that she had to assume. That Yitzchak wants to bless Esau, it's wrong, it's terrible. It is so terribly wrong that God will not help her. She has to take a step and cheat and take Yaakov to pretend to be Esau in order to get the blessings. Right? So I want you to, if you could address this point.
What I'm wondering is if you don't read the further chapters into this, we don't know yet how Esau will be, right? We know that he was a huntsman, and he went out in the wilderness and so on. And Jacob was the son that mother's love, and he stays at home. So we don't know yet how cruel Esau will be at the moment, right? So we know that there will be conflict between the people of Esau and the people of Jacob, but we don't know yet who is the good one and who is the bad one.
It looks very clear that Esau is the good one. Until now, at least.
If we try, I agree with Udi. If you read it, so the Bible does not say, the text does not say that Esau was bad. He doesn't use for not even a word that hints of any evil, of any badness, right?
Yes.
So we assume that since, I had a son that once saw a chicken, a rooster, being killed. So he said the rooster must have been very bad if he got such a punishment. And this is what if Rivka chose Yaakov and made Esav lost the blessing, he must have been very bad. But if we try to concentrate on what is written, so I wonder if the chapter itself, this chapter by itself, gives you any problem, or you agree? Since she loved Jacob, then what she did was a model behavior. We can imitate her behavior. We think it's a good thing to do.
But Rav Shabtai, you are jumping again. If you're saying only love, that's one thing. But since there was also prophecy, maybe her legitimation to do what she did is not because she was loving him; it's because she had the prophecy.
On the other hand, if it's prophecy, it's not her role to. Things will come out okay. It's not her role to interfere.
There's even a bigger question. Why didn't you share the information with Yitzchak?
Also a question.
The prophecy. What's the problem?
Okay, good.
אתה לא יכול לדעת אם היא חלקה את המידע הזה איתו או לא.
It looks like she didn't, because otherwise
זאת הערכה.
there should have been a reaction. Yitzchak doesn't have any reflection that he knows about this prophecy. After Yitzchak, Yaakov gets the blessing, and Yitzchak finds out, he doesn't say, okay, this is the prophecy. If he knew about it, it should have been there. It's very clear to me.
Could you roll it down almost to the end?
No, I'm saying, look at it's very, again, we are not studying this part, but if you look very carefully at this, the origin of the story, there's something very paradoxical there, because she doesn't have a child, and she asks Yitzchak to pray with her. Very different from what happens later on with Jacob and Rachel, that he says, what do you want from me? I'm not God. Here, Yitzchak is praying, Nochach Rivka Ishto, if you remember the verse, and then she goes to ask God. She doesn't share her turmoil and her conflict in her womb with Yitzchak. She keeps him out of it, and she goes to ask for God. If it should have been shared. Why doesn't she ask Yitzchak to come with her? Why Yitzchak is being left out? It's very clear that for some reason, I mean, the Bible, I think, is very clear. It doesn't explain why, but it puts the situation very clearly. There's a big love between Yitzchak and Rivka. He's very much committed to her having children. And again, if you put it against Yaakov, it's very clear. I mean, the Bible puts it exactly the opposite. That Yaakov didn't care about.
Okay, we got the point. Could you just go down to the end of the conspiracy? All the way to the end. No, more higher up. No, down. Almost to the end. Not the logos.
You can say...
אני לא רואה, תרד למטה יותר, פסוק תתוו יותר...
The conspiracy is until 14.
The next, you split it. So the end of the story.
Okay. So not the conspiracy, the execution.
The execution. Okay.
That was my division.
Wow. This is very dramatic. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's a dramatic story, isn't it?
Yes, it's super dramatic.
The next. And very troubling. It's not only dramatic, it's very troubling.
I'm talking about the next one. I want to know the reaction of Yitzchak when he found out. Down. Opa, that's it. Up, go back. That's it. Look at chapter 33. And this is something that Luther also got very, very well. He got the essence. He says, read verse 33. He says, Gam Baruch Yeh. You see it? The end. And Luther translates very well. He'll remain blessed, even though he cheated. Something happened. Gesegnet bleiben. That meaning he'll remain, right? He'll remain blessed.
Exactly.
Meaning I'm not going to change it.
Exactly.
Isn't it amazing?
It's fully amazing. I mean, that means the blessing, or the blessing is not based upon your behavior, right? The blessing is the blessing, and even if you committed some cheating, the blessing will stay.
But this is contrary to intuition. If we think that this is the blessing of God, it's not a transfer of money in the bank that is irreversible. They tell you in the bank, if you push this point, it will be irreversible. Mm-hmm. If you push, you hit this key, it will be irreversible. No, it's a blessing. It's a blessing of God. It's a blessing before God. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, he will remain blessed.
Actually, you can bring support to your position even from the Bible itself. Because when Rivka suggests to Yaakov to do this manipulation, Yaakov says, but he will find out and he will curse me.
Right.
So he puts up the option that not only that this will result in blessing, it can result in a curse.
Right.
And
Excellent.
Your curse upon me. She doesn't say it can't happen. She says, if it happens, the curse will be on me.
Very good.
Between them, there's an agreement that this is a very dangerous situation.
Very, very good.
Yes.
And
he took the risk and the chance, both.
Right. And here Yitzchak says he will remain blessed. But look also at verse 35, which is amazing. He says, Ba'achicha b'mirma. What is list in German?
List is an old word for cheating. I mean, cheating, but cheating is too negative. I don't know the English equivalent for list. It's a bit in between being smart and cheating.
That's what I thought also. List is not always right. That's what I thought also. In Yiddish, it's the same way. It's something, it's a smart move.
Yeah.
It's not...
Armumiyut.
Yes, smart. It's not... When you go to court and you say, the guy cheated me, you will not use this.
I think in ancient English, it was called to be a Jew. To Jew it. No, I'm serious. I think there's a verb in English.
No, to be a Jew means lying and forging.
Like that, I mean...
Yes. But anyway...
This was in, I think, medieval English. It was one of the, at least medieval, maybe even later, but medieval. Shakespeare, I think.
What you mean is to Welsh someone. This they say in English. Anyway, so I want to ask you something. Do you think the reason could be that Yitzchak believed that if it happened, it was supposed to happen? That Yitzchak said it's
happen what?
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 That if it happened that Yaakov got a blessing, it was supposed to happen. Meaning that I trust in God, I trust in predestination, and if it so happened, so it means that it was supposed to happen. Or let's develop the theme a little bit. Yitzchak said, if God let me err, if God did not warn me about this, so God participated in this also.
I don't know. I mean, Yitzchak is so passive here. well, he sees what has happened, and well, he accepted it. If it's predestination or not, we don't know. I mean,
It falls in character, what you're saying. I mean, Yitzhak is passive all the way.
yes, of course. It's like in the story that we treated last time.
Okay, see.
הרב שבתאי, I think you're right because יצחק is very afraid.
אנחנו מבינים כולנו.
אני חושב שאתה צודק בהלם הזה שעבר על יצחק, מכיוון שזה בעצם מסביר את תחילת הפסוק.
כן, ודאי.
החרדה הזאת, אני חושב שהיא מצביעה על זה שהוא הבין שמשהו לא הלך לפי החשיבה שלו, ועובדה שהקדוש ברוך הוא משחק את המשחק, והוא שולט בסוף לפי מה שהוא מבקש שיהיה.
Right. But now see verse 37. And you see, Axel, about how your passivity goes. 37. I'm talking about the Hebrew grammar. I don't know about the German grammar. But you have to help me. I think it's the same. ויען יצחק ויאמר לעשיו, הן גביר שמתיו לך, ואת כל אחיו נתתי לו לעבדים. In Hebrew, it's not a passive voice, it's very active.
Yes, now it's active.
These are active verbs.
But it sounds like if he awakes from a dream, you know? He knows that something has happened which he can't understand. And now he says, okay, that's what I've done.
But I did it. It was not done to me.
Yes, I did it. Although I didn't know what I did it.
Because before that, if you go up, he said that the brother did it. Stop here. 35. He said, בא אחיך במרמה ויקח ברכתך. He took it.
Okay.
It's not that I gave it to him, he took it. And at the end, 2 verses later, he says, I gave it to him.
Yes,
אבל זה לא אותו דבר, זה לא אותו נושא. פה יש פירוט של הברכה. בפסוק הראשון הוא לקח את הברכה, וכשיעקב מדבר הוא מסביר מה הברכה.
יצחק.
כשיצחק מדבר הוא מסביר מה הברכה.
No, not only that. He says, I did it. הוא לא אמר, he did not say, your brother came and took the kingdom. You know, he became a king. הוא לא אמר, הן שליט, הוא נהיה לך. הוא אמר, I did it, I did it.
In 35 you see, ויקח, and here נתתי, it's very clear though.
נכון.
נכון, אני מבין שהפעלים הם שונים, אבל כל אחד מהפעלים מתייחס למשהו אחר. הוא לקח את הברכה, בפסוק ויקח ברכתך, נכון, וב-37 זה פירוט של הברכה.
נכון, but he doesn't say, הן גביר נעשה לך, או הן גביר היה לך.
כי זה מה שקורה בתור, זה מה שקורה בתוך המערכת של הברכה. הברכה נתנה את הגביריות.
זה לא מה שהוא אומר, הוא אומר זה אני.
He could have said, חזי, he could have said, הן גביר היה לך.
נכון.
ואת כל אחיו...
וכל אחיו היו לו לעבדים.
היו לו לעבדים.
היו לו לעבדים.
He could have said it in a sort of a passive tone. I agree with
אני חושב על זה כעל שני שלבים. ברגע שהוא לקח את הברכה, אז הברכה פעלה. מה הברכה פעלה?
אוקיי.
שאני עשיתי אותו גביר. שאני עשיתי אותו...
Not only the blessing worked, נכון. אז בדיוק, זאת אומרת, אתה צודק. אחרי שזה נהיה, אז עכשיו אני הולך אחורה.
Rav Shabtai, don't back down. I think you were right originally. It could still have been the result. Having it as a result doesn't mean that Yitzchak has to be active in the result. This is the result, okay, but it could have been still left in a passive grammar. The minute he says, I gave, it's not about the result, it's about what I did. So it's a sort of conflicting, not just having the outcome, like Chezi says, it's much more, it's going backwards. into the past and changing actually what happened in the past. Before he said, I didn't give him anything, he took. Now he says, I gave. I think the contradiction is very clear. And I don't think the Bible, I treat the Bible very seriously. I don't think that could be a, mistake.
לא, אני לא חושב שזה טעות, אני רק חושב שיכול להיות שההבדל בהטיות הוא מסביר שלבים שעבר יצחק. בהתחלה, בשלב הראשון הוא באמת היה בהיעלם, ויחרד יצחק חרדה גדולה, ואז הוא אומר, זה לא אני, הוא לקח. אחר כך כשהוא מפנים מה קרה, הוא אומר, המשמעות של מה שקרה זה שאני בירכתי אותו, וגם ברוך יהיה. כאילו אפילו אני חושב שהגם ברוך יהיה יותר מתאים לסוף פסוק למד זין, מאשר לסוף פסוק למד ה'. בהקשר של התובנה של...
But okay, what you said now is the question. So why isn't it למד זין? Why is it למד ב'?
I want to make a suggestion.
ברוך יהיה is facet.
I want to make a
blessed, not by me.
I'm sure you all heard of Umberto Eco, right? Axel, you did?
Yes, of course, of course.
I don't know if in Germany they know about him, because he's not, he's not Gadamer and he's not Schleiermacher. He's very original. Anyway, he writes. He has a book that's called. I think I told you last time about 6 roads in the wilderness of text or of story. And he says we should always ask the question. We should always try to see who is the author and who is the narrator and who is the character. He says that P.G. Wodehouse writes a whole story that a dog tells his memories. So the dog is not the author, the dog is the narrator. So you have the author, you have the narrator, and you have the character. And I always think, who speaks in the Bible? So when Yitzchak talks, it's a quotation. It is God is saying that. It is always, I think that it's a very strong interaction that we hear the voice of the author. We hear the voice of God here. Or Yitzchak says, this was done. So I did what I was supposed to do. The only thing is, maybe I did not know what I was supposed to do. You understand my point? It's
Yes, I understand. I just try to compare it to something. I have the impression that Isaac works as a tool. He did something. Jacob took the blessing and he blessed him, and by blessing him, he recognizes, or later on in verse 37, he recognizes that it was him who blessed, who gave the blessing to the blessing of God to Jacob. As you said, who's the author? And yes, it's quite clear that it's like Isaac got a revelation, right? We don't know. He was in verse 33. He was Yacharad.
Udi, could you show 33 in the beginning?
In the beginning.
You have it.
So he really was frightened, right?
It's more than
realizing what he's done. He's really shocked. And now later on he realizes what was the deeper purpose of this.
When you say Vayecherad, what Vayecherad means in your eyes? Vayecherad Yitzchak Charada Gdola. It's a terrible, terrible. They're very hard, very dramatic words. But what do you think they are?
Well, it's like the moment that Isaac realizes the the consequences of what has happened. And something, in his point of view, something got
One second. Dagmar
out of
writes now
order.
that she gets an error code. One second, I just sent her the meeting code. One second. Oh, poor
Nice.
Dagmar. Uh, 2, 5, 6, 5, 1, 8, 1, 2, 7.
I just realized, I was just skimming through my Bible. There's something very interesting, I think.
Pardon?
I was just skimming through my Bible, going back to Abraham.
Yeah.
And what I saw there, Abraham never blesses Yitzhak. The blessing is God's. After Abraham dies, the immediate chapter after, God blesses Yitzhak with all the blessings of Abraham. But it's not Abraham who blesses Yitzhak.
Right.
And here, for some reason, this passive man, Yitzhak, suddenly becomes much more active than Abraham. And at the end, it's even worse, because then he says, I gave you. What do you mean I gave you? God gave you. I'm not giving anything. I'm just a vehicle of God. I should have been just a vehicle of God. It's something very paradoxical here, I think.
Yes, it's very interesting. And but again, if you talk about Harada, Udit, can you go up a bit? The beginning of 33, that's it. How does Luther translate Harada Gdola ad Beot? Vayecherad Yitzchak.
Entsetzte sich über die Maßen sehr.
Meaning what?
He was über die Maßen means beyond imagination,
Right.
and entsetzen means to be shocked or to be frightened or something like that.
Oh, the question is because, you know, in philosophy and psychology, they have a lot about fright, about fear. Do we mean fear or do we feel a shock? And it's not the same thing, but
Yes, but in the entsetzt is both is included. Or
really, it is really very interesting because maybe here is Dagmar. I didn't restart the whole computer, and yes, the number is correct. So, did we close the meeting? No.
no.
If we did, we wouldn't be here.
No, so why? No, I didn't close it to people from outside.
If you give her the code, there shouldn't be a problem.
I gave her. She says she has the right number. She's very frustrated. I did even restart the whole computer. And yes, the number is correct. What can we do for her?
Did she go through? Did she go through Zoom? Maybe she didn't open Zoom
No, she did. I'm sure she did.
and join. Check
Because
with her
because she got the error code.
Sometimes if you click directly on the number, it opens something, but it doesn't open this.
I'll invite her to join. 1 second. 1 second. I'll invite her to join. Let me see if we can do that. Zoom. Invite meeting. The meeting is in progress. How do I do invite? Delete copy. No, I'm sorry, he's not here. Back to meeting. Schedule. No. Contacts. And contact. No. No. Change the topic. Invite. So doesn't let me invite. Recorded. Axel, Alex, kann ich einen von euch anrufen und stell das Telefon auf Lauf? You got Dagmar's mail?
Yes, I got it, and I just I'm writing her my phone number so that she can call me, and I'll take the phone right beside.
Okay, so you can do it. Okay.
We can do it, yes. But at least
It's very frustrating, I know.
I don't understand the reason.
Reason for what?
Yeah, that she can't join us. That's strange.
And ask her if she opened Zoom before she.
Yes, of course. Otherwise, she wouldn't have gotten the error code. The error code is.
No, it's not her. It doesn't go to her. I made a mistake today, and I clicked on the number of the meeting, and I got to some place, and they started to ask me silly questions. It's not. It doesn't go to error. It goes to something else. I don't know exactly why, but.
רק שנייה אחת. אני אנסה לבדוק עוד משהו.
In the meantime, I was trying to look for something parallel with Abraham, and I thought it was the word חרדה, but it's not. It's the
לא, והנה אימה חשיכה גדולה. זה לא חרדה.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, isn't it something that we can think about? Where does Abraham have this awesome fear, and where does Yitzchak has?
חכמים, חז"ל אומרים שיצחק פחד בשלב הזה יותר משהו פחד על המזבח.
Stell dich mal auf laut und leg dich direkt neben das iPad, ja? Wie käme ich dazu? Ich bin selber auch, ich bin froh, wenn alle Sachen funktionieren. Ich habe keine Ahnung davon, also. So now I've got Dagmar on the line.
Oh, she's on the line, but here are the instructions. I'm sharing my screen for a second.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dagmar.
Hi.
We're very sorry about it. Here is the meaning of the error code. If you, Axel, if you could tell her what it is, she can see it. She can only hear us.
Also.
It's either a firewall. The meaning of this error code that she got, it's meaning there is either a firewall or even antivirus like McAfee that blocks it.
Also es kann an deiner Firewall oder an deinem Antivirusprogramm liegen.
Okay.
Okay.
Dann versuche ich euch jetzt einfach zuzuhören. Und ich spiele währenddessen noch mal so ein bisschen rum. Vielleicht komme ich irgendwie doch. Okay, I try my very best to listen to you, and I will just restart, and maybe later he allows me to connect. I will see. I will see what I can do, but I will listening while I will do that.
Okay. So
did you understand?
Yes. Ask her just if she went in through Chrome. Google Chrome or through maybe she
it doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Okay, I'll let you share the screen and we'll continue.
Okay.
You can share. Okay, you can share now. So we are talking about the Charada Gdola Omara. If you could, also if you can briefly summarize where we are holding.
Vers 33, hast du die Nachricht von Udi bekommen mit dem mit dem Link zu unseren Texten?
Nee, habe ich nicht.
Okay.
Oh, that's very good what you said. Yes, ask her if she can go into the site.
זה הדבר.
Yes, I'm just giving her the link because she didn't get it.
That's strange.
Okay.
She's not near the computer, she doesn't have access to her mail or something.
Okay, ich schicke dir jetzt den Link
Ja,
und dann hast du die Texte vorliegen.
okay.
When she opens it up, she will see 6 passages. So she should go to the second, to the execution.
Ich hab's.
Und da steht 6 Bible Texts, also, das oberste Ding, da sind 6 Texte hinterlegt und da, wir sind jetzt gerade bei The Execution.
Okay, aber ich gucke auch gerade nochmal die E-Mail, die du mir geschickt hast, da bin ich nicht drin. Kannst du vielleicht nochmal kurz sagen, weil ich habe die wirklich
Ah,
nicht.
okay. She didn't get the email, Udi. Can you
Can you resend the email?
No, I sent her, but she is not in the
Sugia site?
im Verteiler.
She has really. I didn't get it because you didn't send it to me. I can see everybody you sent it to, but I was not included in that list.
But you can go in. It doesn't matter. If you click on the link, you should be able to see the site. It doesn't matter.
Yes, now Dagmar can see the link and the site, but you didn't include her into the as recipient of your email.
I understand, but we'll deal with it after. But she has a problem to see the text.
No.
She can see it now.
Okay, we'll talk about later. I mean, I don't want to stop the learning just for the technical. So at the end, we can. I'll be in direct contact with her to understand. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, also wir sind gerade bei Vers 33 und fragen uns nach der Bedeutung des Wortes Vecharad. Was Luther übersetzt hat, da entsetzte sich Isaak über die Maßen sehr.
Okay.
Mach einfach weiter. Just do whatever you do. I just listen to you. That's fine.
Okay, so what did we talk about?
We will continue. I just wonder about the Charada Gdola Ad Meod. It could indicate something that explains that if I read the text as it is, and I try to understand from the text, not from other sources, what happened. So maybe it means like this. He sees that there was a mistake, meaning that Medes, he thinks the whole time, as you said, he's passive. So he follows God or follows whatever he sees. And all of a sudden, he realizes that he went to the wrong path. He was in the wrong path and was saved in the nick of time. You know, that he almost did the wrong thing, the terribly wrong thing, and he was saved in the last moment. Like you stop your car, you drive in the darkness, and your car stops. Hi, Dagmar.
Oh, welcome.
Welcome.
Hi.
Good to see you. You see?
Good to see you. Yeah, I did something with the antivirus program. So my antivirus program is down now, but I can see you. So that's a good thing.
It was
I
blocking
just
you.
hope you don't get the flu as a result.
הרב שבתאי, בדקתי עכשיו איך תרגום 70 מגיש את היחידת חרדה.
כן.
הוא לא מדבר על בהלה, הוא מדבר על תדהמה.
כן.
לא על מישהו שנבהל, על מישהו שממש נדהם
It's like Luther's, כן. זה נכון. זה astonishment גם בתרגום של... Right, astonishment. Anyway, so I think, like someone goes in a path, he's sure, it's a highway that he's positive that the highway takes him to Frankfurt. He stops, and all of a sudden he realizes he's at the end of a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's not afraid anymore. But I think the reaction is like this, that he says, Ani bincha b'chorcha Esav, and all of a sudden the entire perspective changes. And I don't see any other explanation to what follows afterwards. The whole perspective changed. So it's like he says, I was stopped. It's true that I was stopped, but I was stopped from falling into the cliff, from falling down the cliff. I just ask if you can read this into the text. I just wonder. Otherwise, it's very strange.
Why? I picked up. Why do you think the pshat, the literal meaning that he was shocked that he did something wrong? Why do you think he was shocked that he did something wrong?
Because he doesn't say that. He says that he didn't think he did anything wrong. When you continue,
No, he said, even though I did something wrong happened, still the blessing is there. He doesn't say.
So, but it doesn't justify verse 37.
Yeah, but I think verse 37 is the Bible's way of conflicting it, not of. You're looking for harmonizing a solution between 33 and 36.
No, I'm just trying
I have
to
a feeling
suggest.
that the Bible wanted not to harmonize, to put it into sort of a conflicting situations that we can. This is what we have to read into. What Chezi was starting to ask, the transformation from being very passive to being very active, and what I tried to suggest also before, that it's even too much active, because he actually is saying something blasphemous. I gave you. What do you mean? I can bless you. I can't give you. Giving is God. I mean, this is something I don't understand theologically.
But if you see that Yitzchak say, I follow God the whole time. So what I do is I'm passive. I believe in predestination and I follow God. And all of a sudden I find out that I did not follow God. So then probably when he did not, so that now he says something caused me to become active. I just propose it. I don't know, because the fact that he was wrong, I don't think justifies. ויחרד יצחק חרדה גדולה עד מאוד. He could be angry. He could, if you see that you were cheated, my reaction when I'm cheated, I don't get חרדה, ויחרד חרדה גדולה עד מאוד. If I'm cheated, I'm going to curse whoever cheated me. I'll write in the internet, I will denounce him, I'll say he was terrible, but
that's what Yaakov feared.
Yes, but Harada is not the proper reaction for being.
But he knows that he gave somebody who is not identified yet. He gave somebody a very precious blessing, and at the moment in verse 33, he doesn't know yet who the person was whom he blessed. He knows that this will have consequences. And because he knows of the blessing of Abraham, and he knows that this is a very, very blessing, powerful, yes, a very powerful blessing. And he doesn't know whom did I bless. Maybe I blessed somebody who is not worth it, or but this blessing will work, and maybe I blessed somebody who should not receive the blessing.
You know what you bring to my mind? Someone that had the plan to build a nuclear bomb, he gave it to someone, and he discovered that he gave it to a possible terrorist.
or look at Einstein. He later on really, when he realized what he helped to construct, he was shocked. right?
Yes.
When he realized that he helped constructing the nuclear bomb, he was shocked. And
When? You know when it happened? And here is why your explanation, I don't know if it's right. It happened after Hiroshima, after many people were killed.
yes, of course,
But here no one is killed.
no. But I think that Isaac knows that this blessing will have very, very many consequences.
Udi, can you show us the blessing of Yaakov compared to the blessing of Esav? It's very famous, but go a little bit back. Show us the blessing. Back, up. That's it. Enough.
Mm-hmm.
Look at verses 27, 29. It's totally 28, 29. Sorry, 28, 29. It's totally, it's not a bomb. It's totally peaceful. On the contrary, whom did he give the bomb? Go down to the blessing to Esav.
Okay.
No, we don't have it. But he told Esav, you live on your soul. Remember?
It's in the later.
What?
I can go.
No, it's not here. I don't think I added it. But anyway, he tells Esav that he live on the sword. So the bomb is really, he didn't give the bomb yet. He just gave the money.
But he said many people have to bow down in front of you, right?
So you think
So-
that
so,
this was the reason? This was the reason of his fear. So you think this carries?
Yeah. Maybe I empowered an evil person. I don't know.
Very, very interesting. Okay, very possible.
But
I don't know. That's just a proposal.
Axel, I agree with you, but then you have to look at passage number 35.
Okay.
Because suddenly he realizes, I mean, it's interesting that in the beginning he doesn't say, your brother came. He says, who could it be? And then it's at passage 35, go down, suddenly he says, he knows who it is. Ba achicha b'mirma. How did he realize it? What happened between 33 and 35?
Very good point, Axel.
Yeah.
Yitzhak doesn't say it was the brother. How come Yitzhak realizes all of a sudden it's a brother?
Because he knows his sons.
Exactly, so he knew it before. It's not like he thought it was a
Why did he say who took it? I mean,
Or
that's
maybe
very good.
because he knew his wife.
all of a sudden he realizes Sarcelle la femme. Yes, he knew that I was behind it. Yes.
I mean, the interesting thing is if we read the blessing in verse 29. So I only have I have my German version here.
I'm showing now 29.
Ja, Völker sollen dir dienen und Stämme sollen dir zu Füßen fallen. Sei ein Herr über seine Brüder und deine Muttersöhne sollen dir zu Füße fallen. Is there anything like a bracha like this, which talks directly about mother and brothers? Because
Yes.
already what's going to happen and is already in this bracha.
It's Jacob, when Jacob blesses Yehuda
Yeah.
in the end of Genesis, he uses similar things, similar blessing.
But I think
But this is later.
Later,
not
before
only
that,
later, but Shata, I think she's very right because when he does it to Yehuda, it's to compare Leah and Rachel. It's to say the sons of the
but it talks
mother
about
who is
the
Leah.
brothers. He said, but it talks about
Yes,
the
but it's
brothers.
important because there the conflict is. I mean, that's the whole conflict of the sons of Jacob. But here, there's one mother, so
Right.
they're it shouldn't be. It's not comparable. It's not the same thing.
And
Very
Nachon,
interesting, I think.
It's right. And this is Rashi, but the thing is only the point was why do we bring the brother? right? You mean what are the brothers doing here?
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing is that, I mean, of course we can compare it. The question is, what do we compare? If we compare the blessings, you could see that they're similar or slightly different, but it's interesting if you follow the narrative of only this story, that already in the blessing it talks about the mother and the brother. And if we think if Isaac knew or didn't knew, if we assume in this narrative he knew, then it's interesting that he already talks about mothers and about the mother and the son.
Maybe he knows it subconscious. Maybe it's that sort of a subconscious coming out, and he's not still aware of it. It's coming behind, or maybe God talking through his mouth. But if we don't want to be Freudian, but it's still something.
You suggested something. What did you mean, Dagmar? Okay, you raised some point. What do you mean by that?
I mean that on the story, how it's now narrated.
Yes.
Already takes what is going to happen later. And the point is, so we have different levels here. So we have the blessing who goes now to Jacob, not to Esav. But when you remember much later when the brothers meet the first time again after Jacob had to leave, and then they meet again, then it's Jacob and all his women and all his house falling down to the feet of Esav. So on this level of the narrator, he takes here something which is not going to happen in this story, but at the end of the day, Esav is getting this blessing, because when Jacob and Esav meet, then much more later, the first time again, then it's really Esav the one is standing, and Jacob is on his knees, and all of his house.
So you try to suggest that this is sort of. So what happened? You are raising something very interesting. So what do you say? You think that what happened was that, are you raising the point whether the blessing is like a prophecy or a failed prophecy? This is what you're trying to say?
I mean, here, yeah, maybe something like a failed prophecy. I think that would be my point, because Jacob is getting this blessing. And of course, he's going to be the father of Israel, and he's going to be having sons and daughters and a lot of children, yes. But at the end of the story, when he again meets his brother, he's the one on his knees, not his brother. So he, the one who got the blessing, will be at the end the one who is kneeling in front of Esav, and not the other way around.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, it's even more than just this specific situation when he's kneeling. I mean, the whole Bible is telling us that Esav will be stronger than Yaakov.
Yeah.
That's the whole story. I mean, if you look at the meta-history of what's going on, actually we see God's blessing, Yitzchak's blessing, turned over. And Yaakov all the time will be the slave to Esav until the end of days.
Yeah.
But you said,
I mean, the Bible is actually saying something very provocative, I think, very challenging.
If you want to try and see a structure, so actually in the beginning it was Esav who Yaakov is talking, which Yitzchak is talking to. He's talking to Esav, and insofar as he talks to Esav, it's the right prophecy. Meaning he says to Esav that your brothers will bow to you, and this is what happens in the end. And he's really having Esav in mind, but maybe what I see are two layers. One layer, what will happen, what seems to happen, and the other layer, what really happens, what happens under the veil. Meaning, things, outside it seems that he's blessing Esav. We, the readers, know that he's blessing Yaakov. Now, what you point out, could be, that's what happens. It will seem to it that Esav got the blessing, but we are led, but the author tells us you know, you are the reader, you should know that who really get the blessing is Yaakov. Meaning, we have the story and we have the author whispering to us. It's not Esav who is getting the blessing, it's Yaakov who is getting the blessings.
So what would be the point? What is the Bible trying to say?
No, well, like Dagmar said, that Yitzchak blessed Esav. That he really blessed Esav. And that's what
you're telling me the specific literate explanation, but the Bible comes to give us a message. What would you say the message is in terms of relationship between Yaakov and Esav?
In the meantime, it's only that it's very complicated. that it's not simple. No, because by Abraham we saw something very simple. Abraham is simple, and Abraham dies simply, and both children bury him together. They are, all you see is harmony, and you see everything is fine. So when you finish the story of Abraham, you think the whole world is in blissful peace. Now you go in here, and you see that the world is not so simple. You know, it's entropy in action. We start with ordered world, with a very perfect model, and everything is fine. And all of a sudden, you see that you understand less and less, and there are layers within layers, and it gets more complicated. It seems to me it's very similar to what happens when someone gets married. It seems very simple and wonderful, and you discover afterwards that it's much more complicated than it seems. It's something Genesis takes us, you know, to the way the world is constructed. Simple ideas. You start with ideas that are very simple, very wonderful, and then they become crazily complicated. And prophecy is not clear, and a promise is not clear, and you have to manipulate in order to get a promise. Maybe, I don't know, it's what Dagmar suggested was very interesting. It's like, you know, we are supposed to value prophecy as absolute signed promissory note, and it's not so.
Yeah, and I think also if we go, I don't know, do you have the text here of Genesis 33?
43, I'll get it for you. I'm sharing the screen. 43?
No, 33. 33.
Okay, sure. 1 second. One second. No.
But if in the meantime, until you are finding it, I just had
Here it is. Okay, what verse?
And the first, I think, 4.
That Esav runs to him?
Yeah.
Okay, can you see me?
33, do you have it?
Can you see it?
Yeah, I have my German version here. I can only see the Hebrew one, but I have my German version here.
I think the Hebrew is, I can get the German also. But
No, it's fine with me.
Yes.
I think the point is here, you really have, I mean, Jacob really goes on his knees in front of his father. Not only he, but he and his family. You have a very long description when they meet.
Right. Verses 6 and 7, right.
Yeah, he tries to convince or brings Esav in the position that he should not harm him. So it's a total humiliation, if you want, to prevent something to happen. And this is so interesting because, correct me, but I do not know of a simple other time in the Hebrew Bible where we have such a kind of humiliation that really the whole family goes down on the knees. And this is so interesting if you put this together with a blessing, because this is directly the opposite of what the blessing said. That and that I just thought that came into my mind when I was reading our text, because it's really interesting if you combine that. It's really a failed prophecy.
It's wonderful. It's also in the Hebrew, Vaishtachavu, the same word. And I want to tell you something else. When Yaakov meets Lavan, he doesn't bow down, and he says, I have the promise of God, and God supports me, and you can go to hell. You cannot touch me. And with Esav, he doesn't say it. And Lavan also came with superior force. He brings people with him to try to attack Esav, to attack Yaakov, and Yaakov is not impressed. And he speaks very strongly to Lavan. And here, where he has a prophecy and he has everything, he bows down. It's very interesting to compare the two meetings, the two encounters.
I think I agree with everything. And just one comment: you are using all the time the word prophecy, and it doesn't look like it's supposed to be a prophecy. It's a blessing. So the problem here is not that something was prophesied. If it was prophesied, it was when Rivka went to hear the word of God when she was in pregnancy. Here, it's not a prophecy. It's
I think we should do it.
Blessing, and this is even more, I think, more serious in a way than a failed prophecy.
I think we should compare the encounter with Lavan because there is also there a blessing and a prophecy.
I agree. But so, it's not, again.
I just want to suggest, I'm stopping now because I have to go. Axel, yes.
Let me just raise a last question. If Jacob gets this powerful blessing, why did he have to flee?
Exactly.
Wonderful.
I mean,
why did Rivka think that he had to flee?
Exactly.
Exactly. And when you compare it to the case of Lavan, Yaakov behaves as a model character until he leaves him. You know, he bows down, he agrees to everything. And when he runs away, Lavan confronts him. He says, "You cannot touch me. I'm not afraid of you." And with Esav, it's different. Maybe we could read into that next time.
I would suggest, Axel and Dara, can you stay a few minutes after Shabtai goes out? I'll introduce you to the platform. Maybe we could even continue a little bit by interacting by writing until the next time.
Okay,
I think
excellent.
we're leaving it with the big questions, and I think it would be better not to wait until next time to keep on contemplating at least.
You're 100% right, and I want something else. Axel, Axel and Dagmar, maybe you will lead the next time. We'll give you the whole session next time to talk about the problem that you raised, Dagmar. How about it? I think it's a very major thing for any person that believes in God, believes in prophecy, believes in promise. I think it's a very hurting point. It's maybe we should try to read into it. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm very sorry I have to go.
Don't just leave the meeting. Don't close the meeting.
I don't close anything. I just close my recording because I have to. But you go on recording.
Yes, I'm continuing.